Sure. So Ismael, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having
and
me.
having a chat.
Thank you for having me.
Let's just start from the beginning, really.
Okay.
So, let's talk about your childhood and what that was like.
Yeah. I grew up in a Christian family. My mother and father are from Jamaica. They're from the Windrush generation. They came in the late 50s, early 60s. My dad came in the late 1950s. Then he saved up and he brought my mum by plane in the early 60s. And I'm the last of 6 siblings. So I was the baby of the family. And we grew up in Willesden, northwest London. And it was a Christian family, as I said. I used to go Sunday school, but my parents, they followed a school of thought whereby saying you don't need to go church to say that you believe in God. They believe that the church is in their hearts. So I'm not saying my parents were perfect Christians. I'm not saying, but at the same time, they instilled a lot of values. So as to pray before we eat, before we go to bed, we had to pray. And you'd hear my dad in conversations, and my mum said, "Lord God, please bless me with this." So the regular prayer. So I grew up in northwest London, and the community that we grew up in was predominantly a Windrush West Indian community based in Chapter Road, Willesden, northwest London. And our families, mostly our fathers, would meet up on a Sunday around this time and go to Mr. Wright's house, where he would have like a so-called pub in his house. Because when my parents came in the Windrush generation, many of them were ostracized from pubs. So what happened is quite a few people in the Caribbean community, they would have like a local in-house so-called pub, and this would be called like a shebeen. And so what would happen, Mr. Wright, he would have one room where he would cut my hair, and another room where his wife, my godmother, Mrs. Wright, where she would serve alcohol and drinks. And that's where all my dad's friends would meet, and where I would meet the sons and daughters of my other dad's friends. So it was like a community. And that's where I grew up. And then in secondary school, my primary school was predominantly Asian, Hindu. As I was growing up as a Christian, I did see there was some resentment between the Muslims and the Christian Asians, but I never could put my foot on it, what exactly it was. The only Muslim of African heritage that was around me was a Somalian brother called Mahdi Jama, who joined us in year 4. And then he came with me to secondary school, South Kilburn. South Kilburn was different because South Kilburn was predominantly Afro-Caribbean as well. So reggae music was a big contributing factor. Ragga music, sound system music, the keywords, if people ever look them up, called Saxon, Coxon, these like urban poets. And then when our dear friend came from another school called Jason, he said, "Have you guys heard of hip hop?" And we said, "Look, we're not into this hip hop. We're into reggae music. We're of Jamaican heritage. We don't know about." And Jason was a very, assertive guy. And because he himself was of Jamaican heritage, he said, "No, you guys need to listen to hip hop." So he used to play us Grandmaster Flash, and then we got into hip hop. And then at that time there was someone called Smiley Culture and Tipper Irie. Their songs were going into mainstream pop charts, and it was like showcase. And we used to watch Lenny Henry. So as a family, we used to sit down together, watch Lenny Henry on TV, because we were saying, "Oh my gosh, they're showing our Jamaican culture on BBC," and we would watch Top of the Pops as a family. So our family, because I've got 5 other siblings, of course there were arguments. I would go out and borrow my brother's clothes because I was a bit tall for my age, and my brother was 8 years older than me, so I used to borrow his clothes. And of course, when you're a teenager, you go dating, so you had that as well. And I would say that would be my childhood.
And in terms of the cartoons, what kind of cartoons were on the TV?
Whoa, cartoons now. Yes, now you're talking. So cartoons I like growing up was He-Man, Danger Mouse, and then when I got older, Thundercats. Then there was one called Visionaries that was on for a short while, maybe one or two series that came on. They were my favorite cartoons. But one cartoon that I always like Always like, and sometimes I even watch it today with my kids, Tom and Jerry. I don't know why. There's something about Tom and Jerry.
Of course, I think it's one of those cartoons that sort of transcends generations.
Yeah.
Like even my mom.
Yeah.
Even like my grandma, like us, even my little cousins now. We just all watch Tom and Jerry. And not like the new Tom and Jerry, but we're talking like Fred Quimby, 1940s, 1950s Tom and Jerry.
And even when I think back now, just talking to you now, because I never realized we were talking about this, we used to go to the cinema. I used to go to the cinema with my older sisters to watch Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Dwarfs, is like I used to love that. The Disney classics, basically. We used to go to the cinema to watch those. So I really used to enjoy those cartoons. So Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Sleeping Beauty. We used to watch those in the cinema. So yeah.
And so in terms of Tom and Jerry, is there a particular iconic episode or a moment that you look back and thought, man, that is awesome?
No, be straight. I can't think of a iconic one, but it's just one of those cartoons I could just watch no matter how old I am. If I've got like a spare half an hour at home, the kids are out playing with their friends and my wife's doing what she's doing, and if I'm just got a little chill time at home and there's nothing on and I just see something and I see a Tom and Jerry, I would flick and watch it.
Yeah, because it would be on like on the Saturday just before a TV program would come on. Yeah. They'd have like the fillers and it would be Tom and Jerry.
Randomly,
on the Saturday or the Sunday.
Yeah, and now with cable TV, there's, I can't remember the channel. There was,
Boomerang.
No, they used to show Smurfs. Because my daughter used to like watching the Smurfs. And this channel, I can't remember if I can remember right, it's a cartoon channel on Sky. They used to play Tom and Jerry.
I'm sure it's Boomerang.
Maybe it's Boomerang, but it's another one. Maybe it's Boomerang. I can't remember the name, but there's another one. So that's when I start, because my daughter, when I turn on the TV, it's on this channel. I think, oh god, and Tom and Jerry. So I'm telling my daughter, I used to watch this, and she says, oh, okay, and that's it. She's not really interested, but yeah.
Oh, are you Team Tom or Team Jerry?
Jerry.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though Jerry is just going out of his way to make Tom's life miserable.
Yeah, but because he's a mouse, and he's just for some reason I just like Jerry. I don't know why. I like Jerry.
As you can tell, I'm Team Tom. But,
I gathered that. Yeah.
I think I'm going to be in the minority on that one, definitely, because no one will kind of see my way of thinking in the world.
Yeah.
Because I just think every time I watch Tom and Jerry, it's just basically Tom is minding his own business.
Yeah.
He's trying to do something, or he's been instructed to do something, and Jerry just gets in his way every single time.
Yeah. I'll be straight. Most of the time, I am neutral, but if I had to choose, I have to choose Jerry. I don't know why. Jerry.
You mentioned your daughter, so do you actually show some of these old programming to your children?
Yeah, my daughter, she comes to me, and I always tell my daughter, you could ask me anything. Don't feel shy. I'm not going to promise I'm going to answer it or I'm going to say yes, but I just want you to feel that you could ask me anything. And so we have this session once a week, ask me anything. So we do it with her and my son. And so one day she asked me, Daddy, what cartoons did you used to watch? So I told her He-Man. And so when she hears a name that she likes and it's not on TV, thank God for YouTube, I show her a clip on YouTube. And she's like, oh, I used to watch that. So I'm trying to think of a cartoon. There's a cartoon we was watching. So because Danger Mouse has returned, but she never ever watched it. So I said, yeah, I like Danger Mouse. And she said, oh, I can't remember it. But I said, it's on TV. So I had to go on YouTube and show it to her.
If you could bring back a cartoon, what would it be?
So if I could bring back one cartoon, it would be a cartoon called Visionaries. I only saw two short series that like show six or seven episodes in a series called Visionaries. These were like futuristic robots who used to fight against the forces of evil. So they had like a plasma TV screen on their chests, and where they would have like visions, like they would have someone like a tiger or a lion who would fight on their behalf. I think these cartoons, like I'm talking about 16 years ago.
Slowly coming back to me.
But yeah, I'll bring that back.
Slowly.
And Thundercats. I used to love That's it. I used to love Thundercats.
I'm getting quite
Every Thursday, 4:00. I'm at home, Thundercats, yeah.
I'm actually getting quite a lot of people who like Thundercats.
Thundercats, man. And lastly, Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons was excellent.
Okay, I think I know Dungeons and Dragons, yeah. But honestly, I'm not joking. Like the amount of people that I've spoken to who love Thundercats.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I remember it, and it's like, I mean, it wasn't that good in my
your opinion. No.
I must preface by saying in my opinion. Don't shoot me, but it's like, but for me, I don't know. Thundercats was just there.
Yeah, no, Thundercats. That used to be my show. Every Thursdays, I remember 4:00 or 4:20.
Oh, nice. And so, fast forward to now. So, tell me about some of the things that you're kind of working on getting up to now.
Okay, so basically, after we retired from the Salam Project, retired from Mecca to Medina doing the rapping, I was able to set up something with Rakim called the Salam Project, and we were doing youth and community work. And it's something that we got into by accident because my nephew got involved in a gang, and I was working, and then I used to go to the police station to get him out. So I used to start up community projects, and first it was self-funded, and then what happened was the head of the youth service in my local authority area came to me and said, "Look, I've got some problems with gangs in these schools. Can you come and do a project?" So I thought, okay. So in my head I thought, I've never really done a project before, but he just said, "Yeah, I want you to do a project. Send me a proposal." So I'm thinking, okay. So I had to research what a proposal is, and then I had to write a proposal of doing like a drama, rap, music, personal development project. And I sent it to him via email, and he said, okay. And then he got me into these schools in Northwest London. And then from there, I've been working in other schools. So now I'm doing a project in 2 schools in Manchester and 1 school in London around knife crime, young people getting excluded from school, and special educational needs. Because, as you know, there's a lot of our young people, they're being diagnosed with ADHD, diagnosed with Asperger's, diagnosed with other learning difficulties. And what the research is showing that many people who have these learning difficulties are more likely to be permanently excluded from school. And when they're permanently excluded from school, and then they're sent to pupil referral units and so forth. So we do workshops around employability skills, general things, how to do your CV, how to conduct yourself in a job interview. We do knife crime workshops. We do anti-gang crime workshops. We do workshops around drug awareness and things like this. And then we do other things as well.
And with the climate today, how challenging would you say it is helping out young people?
Yeah, it's very tough. It's very tough because you're fighting, I would say, 3 battles. You're fighting one battle where you're trying to engage with young people. A lot of young people nowadays, they don't want to hear unless they're in a controlled environment, i.e. a youth club, a school, or a prison. And the sad reality is many so-called BME young kids are being permanently excluded from school, and there's the thing they call prison to school to prison pipeline. So you're seeing a lot of the times people are getting permanently excluded from school. You would see at least 70-80% of them end up in prison within 3 to 5 years. Yeah, like I said, one of the challenges is engaging with young people, because a lot of young people, when they're 14 and 15, we have a mentality, oh, we know everything. We don't need to hear from you. We know everything. We know what it's all about. Then you have other youth and community organizations who mostly are not getting no funding at all. The reality is most people in this field, they're not getting funding, they're not getting grants. Most of them are doing it for a passion. Either they've got a friend or a relative who's been stabbed and they're getting involved in this work. The sad reality is many people are coming for a problem. Oh, we need funding, we need grants, we need funding, we need grants. And the sad reality is a lot of the people who are getting the funding and grants are organizations who don't know how to engage. And so that's a challenge. The third thing is that a lot of the people who are doing this work are not working together. So you would find one organization who are doing great work with young people. They've got no funding, but they've got access to over 70 young people. But then there's another organization over here who are getting funding, okay, but they're only engaging 5 people. But they've got access to accredited learning training. They've got access to one-day training with Microsoft and Facebook. But these organizations are next door to each other, but for some silly reason, they can't put aside their egos and work together to benefit each other. So this organization have over 60, 70 people. They're thinking if they work with this organization, then their organization will become irrelevant and they'll be extinct, and this organization will take their young people. So I think it is, some of the challenges, when people are talking about knife crime in communities and they're blaming the government, they're blaming certain politicians, don't get me wrong, of course, there's an element of blame there, but I think a lot of the blame is to do with community organizations and families in communities not working together.
And obviously, with you being in the middle of that, how do you kind of break away and try and find a way?
Thankfully, how I break away from it, thankfully I had a mentor. His name is Brother Khalid. He's actually my cousin. We only found out recently, actually. He always said to me, don't be one of those people who always relies on funding. Always try to find ways of being self-funded so you're independent and you're not moaning or groaning or being like a whiner and complainer. Be a doer. And there's another brother who's like a mentor to me. There's a brother called Rashid. And he always said to me, try always to be a problem solver. So because of these 2 good mentors, they've made me see always try to find ways of getting people to work together. And because I've got a contract with an interfaith organization called Faiths Forum, that contract has enabled me to work with like Christian community groups, Muslim community groups, and mainly Christian and Muslim community groups of different sects, that school of thoughts and understanding, and trying to get them to work together. So I'm working in the capacity of a consultant, which has helped me to see things differently and to be, how can I say, look at things differently and find ways of bringing people together.
And in terms of the whole knife crime and the whole situation, do you see a way where it can get better?
I personally believe the way it can get better are 5 things. I think 1, we need to get families, parents, community groups and organizations, and schools to find a way of working together. So there's many schools around the country, especially in inner city areas, they're not bringing in someone to speak about knife crime once a week or once a month or once every 3 or 4 months. Someone should be going into schools at least once a month, at least. I personally believe once every fortnight, but at least once a month. And then there needs to be a way of when the kids leave school, from when they leave school to go home, the parents and community groups, community organizations who say they're for the community, who say they're here to benefit, to do organized patrols for when the kids are leaving school and going home. So there's one community in Willesden, they done this. What they done was, when the school finished at 3:15, they got parents, community organized, community volunteers, to every 10 meters, they had a volunteer. And they always said, if there's any issue, if you feel like you're being bullied, you think you're going to be stabbed, let us know. And then one of the volunteers would tell the head volunteer, and the head volunteer would work with the police. And then by working together, and by that happening, knife crime in the area went down. The third thing is, I believe what it is, there's a lot of our young people aged between 16 to 25 who are not working. They're not going to school. They're not going to college. They're not going to university. They're not doing no training. They're not doing no studying or whatever. They're just at home on computer games, hanging out on the street. I believe they need to bring in a form. There needs to be a form of a community. Not, when I say national service, I don't mean going to join the army. There used to be something called YTS, and it needs to be compulsory. So as soon as a kid leaves schools, if they're 16 to 25, they're not in work, not in training, not in employment, they need to be doing one of these training programs. So they're learning a trade, learning a skill, learning something that they're out and about, where they're going 9 to 5. Because there's too many young kids, 16 to 25, running around the streets in a school in September, where they should be somewhere. The fourth thing is, when a lot of young ex-offenders are being released, there's not enough good support for when they come out. So I believe there's a lot of welfare to work programs that are in communities. Some of them are mean good, but I believe the welfare to work programs need to be for when ex-offenders are coming out, and there needs to be a pathway for them from prison when they're getting released to get some form of job, some form of payment for work. And the fifth thing is, I believe that there's many academy schools in inner cities. So, like, for example, Brent, Tower Hamlets, Lambeth, there are many academy schools, and they've got the best resources, i.e. with computers, with football pitches, basketball pitches. One of the biggest challenges for community organizations is finding a place to do youth engagement programs. And we all know the best way to engage with young people is through sports, through music, through arts, and so forth. So because school academies are funded by multi-million-pound companies, there should be policies. If they're in inner city communities, they have to give 100 hours in-kind support for community organizations to do youth and community engagement. And I personally believe these are some of the things that need to be brought in to challenge knife crime in communities.
And that's for your personal project, the Salam Project. Yeah. Where do you kind of see that going?
What we do is, so we get asked to do workshops. So we do workshops in schools, prisons, youth clubs in London, Manchester, and now recently Birmingham. I'm doing something in Birmingham on next Saturday. And what it is, in partnership with the Faiths Forum, they've got me and some of the brothers and sisters that work with me. We're doing workshops with churches and mosques and faith schools around knife crime and organisation. Also, the Faiths Forum has asked me to get anti-knife crime practitioners within the Christian community and the Muslim communities, trying to get them to work together. I would say that's what we're doing at the moment. And then one of the other things that we're doing as well, in partnership with Haringey Council, we're doing like a drop-in. So if, because of my experience working in welfare to work, so if there's someone who's an ex-offender, someone who's kicked out of school, and we've tried to find them suitable, that's suitable for them to gain what they want. So like if we meet someone who's an ex-offender, someone who's a long-term unemployed person, someone who's recently been permanently excluded from school, we try to find them, i.e. training, accredited training program, work experience, or try to find them like a leisure activity. So if they're under 16 and they like boxing or whatever, we try to find them a boxing program for free where they can go once a week, and things like this. So that's what we're doing.
And is the goal to take it nationwide, or?
Hopefully one day, yes. Hopefully the goal would be to do more nationwide. But at the moment now, we're happy with just London. We're just doing things in Brent, Lambeth in London, and Brent, Lambeth, and Haringey in London. And in Manchester, we're doing it in Moss Side and Longside. Yeah, so for now, we're happy with that. But in the future, inshallah, we'd love to do it nationwide.
And as for you personally, I think you mentioned Makkah to Medina. If you could tell new listeners what Makkah to Medina is. And
so basically, before I embraced Islam, I used to be a rapper. I belonged to a small underground rap group called Strictly Business. It's me and my local friends from Kilburn, northwest London. And we entered a rap competition with a DJ who's called Tim Westwood. And he used to host rap competitions at a place called Dingles in Camden. And we won the rap competition. And after that, we got signed by an independent record company, and we was happy and everything. And then at that time, I was looking into Islam. So I converted to Islam, and where I met Rakeen. So Rakeen used to be part of a known rap group who was signed to Virgin Records, which was a big record company at the time. And his group was called Cash Crew. And what happened was, we used to hang out in Hyde Park Corner. So while I was there, we used to meet other rappers. So there were many people who were converting to Islam, and they were rappers. And then some of them were thinking, I've converted to Islam now. I want to concentrate on my spiritual self. I want to stop doing music. So I noticed there were many guys who used to be rappers who all gave up rapping. So even myself, I was thinking, I don't want to rap no more. So the group that I was in at the time, they thought I was crazy. They go, what? You don't want to rap no more? After we got signed, we got a song coming out. I said, no. So there were a lot of us in this dilemma. Then we met some sheikhs and scholars, And they were saying, no, you can rap, but it's advisable not to do the bad things like swearing, misogyny, things like this. Enjoying the good and forbid the evil. So we said, okay. So we started rapping. So Rakim came to me and said, look, I got this idea. I want to do a rap group called Mecca to Medina, so the initial plan was to get Muslim rappers to come together. And because at that time, it's still now actually, rap was getting very bad with the misogynistic element, with this promoting of smoking drugs and selling drugs. So let's do things talking about social issues, not just spiritual issues, but social issues, and enjoying the good and forbid the evil. And let's talk about Islamophobia and things like this. So that's when we started the group Mecca to Medina. So at first there were 3 of us, and then we started to recruit other people. So then the biggest it got was to around 6 of us. And then some people got married due to people having bereavement in their families. Then it went back down to 2 of us.
And
yeah, so we went from 1999, and we stopped in 2010.
Oh, that was ages ago then.
Yeah, 2010, 2011. Yeah.
And do you ever think about going back?
No, because of the grey hairs, the big belly, and I'm hearing so much good new people. So when we first stopped, the initial plan was to start up a record label and a management thing for up-and-coming new rappers, not just Muslim rappers, but conscious, positive rappers. But what we were finding is we would make bookings for rappers, some of the rappers wouldn't turn up, and then the promoters would be shouting at us, cursing us. We would get some rappers and performers a few shows where we said, look, just do the first few shows for travel expenses only, then you could charge. But someone would do one show, and then they say, okay, for the next show, I want £500. I want £500 a show. I said, no one's booking. And then you'd have people who start saying that they're doing music, and then they say, oh, I don't want to do music no more. So because of all of this thing, I said, no, I can't do this. It's much of a headache. And yeah, so I stopped. And then people say, oh, I can't perform with this and whatever. So we stopped. We tried to do a record label between 2010 and 2013. But then we stopped it in 2013. That's when we was working with some new artists.
And yeah, do you miss it?
I miss managing. I'll be real with you. I miss managing because when you're working with a new artist who's fresh and new, it is thrilling. And then you're introducing them to the studio, and you're introducing them to performing, taking them around on tour. It is exciting. I find that more exciting, funny enough. And then, but it's then to find, but when some people don't turn up and you get headaches from the promoters and then other stuff, and I thought, contracts and things like this, and get to pay for a lawyer. Yeah, I don't miss that part.
All right, yeah, thank you so much.
No problem.
Coming on. And where can we follow you on socials?
On Instagram, you can follow us at The Salam Project. So it's at TheSalam Project, Project. Same with Twitter, at The Salam Project. Same on Facebook, at The Salam Project. We got two Facebooks. One's at The Salam Project, and we got another one at The Salam Project -UK. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your time.
Alhamdulillah. Thanks a lot. Bless. Peace.